In a world teeming with noise, the ancient wisdom of Stoicism shines a light on how to navigate life's chaos with serenity and strength. Today, we're diving deep into this profound philosophy, not just as an academic subject, but as a practical toolkit for living a better, more fulfilled life. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or enduring hardship with a stiff upper lip. It's about transforming every challenge into an opportunity for personal growth and finding joy in the process. Join me as we explore how to apply these timeless principles to modern life, making each day not just bearable, but vibrant and meaningful. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple, free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And remember, don't skip any part of this video. You're not like the majority. Consider yourself an exception, destined to fully embrace the profound insights we're about to explore together. Fact 1. Perception versus reality. The Stoics teach us that our perception of ourselves is often clouded by our judgments and biases, what we think we know about ourselves. However, this internal narrative isn't always in sync with how others perceive us. For example, you might see yourself as reserved or introverted, while others might perceive your quiet nature as wisdom or depth. This disparity between self-perception and external perception can lead to misunderstandings and miscommunications, but it also offers a unique opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Stoicism encourages us to reflect deeply on our own perceptions and question them. Why do we see ourselves a certain way? Are these views limiting us, or can they be harnessed to drive us forward? Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of self-awareness and aligning our perception with reality. He suggested that by understanding the nature of our thoughts and how they influence our perception, we can begin to control them and, in turn, control our reactions. This process isn't about changing who we are, but rather about understanding ourselves better so that we can operate more effectively within the realm of what we can control. Furthermore, Stoics argue that reality, what actually is more important than perception, which can be deceptive. They advise focusing on factual information and direct experiences rather than getting caught up in how we think things should be or how we want others to see us. This emphasis on living according to nature and accepting things as they come without unnecessary judgment or emotional turmoil is a cornerstone of Stoic thought. In practice, aligning perception with reality means taking a step back from our immediate reactions and assessing situations more objectively. It means asking ourselves tough questions. Are we biased? Are we too attached to a particular identity or image? How do our perceptions align with our values and the principles of Stoicism? By consistently practicing this Stoic approach, you can develop a more balanced perspective that appreciates the present moment and your true self without the distortions of ego or fear. Fact 2. Mastering emotions. When you feel anger bubbling up because of something someone said, instead of reacting impulsively, Stoicism invites you to pause. Why are you angry? What about this situation is within your control? This reflection is about recognizing the space between stimulus and response, a space where you have the power to choose your reaction. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about this space. He advised treating it as a moment of reflection to determine whether our emotional responses align with our core values and rational understanding. The beauty of mastering emotions stoically lies in this mindfulness. It's about observing your feelings without attachment, acknowledging their presence, and then deciding how you'll let them influence you. This doesn't mean you won't feel angry, upset, or overjoyed. Rather, you approach these emotions with a clear head and a strategy for dealing with them constructively. Stoicism also teaches us to anticipate and prepare for emotional disturbances. Just as a sailor anticipates stormy seas, a Stoic practices scenarios in the mind to prepare for emotional upheavals. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, involves visualizing challenges and mentally preparing responses. This method doesn't just prepare us for future emotions, but also helps in diminishing the intensity of emotional surprises. Moreover, Stoics believe that emotions can be transformed by altering our perceptions. For instance, if you view a challenging work assignment as an opportunity to learn rather than a burden, your emotional response shifts from one of stress to one of enthusiasm. This shift is pivotal. It's not the world around us that must change, but rather our internal landscape, our judgments, and the stories we tell ourselves about our circumstances. Fact 3. The impact of a smile. A smile, though seemingly small, is a powerful tool for shaping our interactions and our environment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once suggested that we have the ability to color our circumstances with our responses and attitudes. A smile can be a conscious choice, a reflection of the Stoic belief in maintaining a serene and positive demeanor, regardless of external circumstances. Why is a smile so powerful? Biologically, smiling activates the release of feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin in our brains. This not only relaxes your body, but also works to lower your heart rate and blood pressure, creating a feeling of happiness and tranquility. But the impact extends beyond the biological. It's deeply social. Smiles are contagious, a natural human way to connect. When you smile, it's more likely that others will smile back, creating a cycle of positivity. Choosing to smile even when you face challenges is a practice of resilience and virtue. It's about affirming your control over your mood and disposition, no matter the external pressures. It's a physical manifestation of the Stoic idea that while we cannot control all external events, we can control our responses, and in doing so, influence our environment positively. Engaging in the simple act of smiling aligns with the Stoic commitment to virtue. It enhances not just your own well-being, but also that of others around you. It's an easy yet powerful way to practice kindness and goodwill, crucial aspects of Stoic ethics. In the fast-paced whirlwind of daily life, a smile is a moment of reprieve, a tool to bring not just calm to oneself, but also to those we interact with. Fact 4. Living in the present. Stoicism, at its core, teaches us about the importance of focusing on the here and now. The idea is simple yet profound. The present is all we truly have control over. Past events have occurred and cannot be changed. The future, while it can be influenced, is ultimately uncertain. This focus on the present is a cornerstone of Stoic wisdom, and one that can transform how we live our daily lives. Why is this focus so beneficial? Living in the present allows us to engage fully with our current activities and frees us from the often overwhelming burdens of past regrets and future anxieties. Seneca advised that dwelling on the past and obsessing about the future does nothing but steal our current joy and effectiveness. He famously noted that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. By concentrating on the present, we can apply our efforts and intellect where they are most effective. This is not just about mindfulness, which is often perceived merely as a form of meditation. In Stoicism, it's about making practical, rational decisions that are aligned with our values and virtues. It's about doing the right thing, right now, without distraction. The practice of living in the present also involves recognizing and cherishing the small joys and victories of everyday life. This might mean truly listening when someone talks, savoring a meal, or fully engaging in the work before you. Stoicism doesn't ask us to withdraw from the world, but to participate in it fully, with a clear mind and a heart unburdened by what we cannot control. Moreover, Embracing the present is about acceptance, accepting what is happening as part of the natural flow of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about seeing life as a series of present moments, each to be experienced fully and without resistance. He believed that peace comes from understanding that only the present is our domain, and in this domain we must act with honor and integrity. So, how can we start living more in the present? It begins with awareness. Catch yourself when your mind wanders to the past or the future and gently guide it back to the now. Focus on your breath, your environment, and your current task. Cultivate a habit of questioning. Is this within my control? If not, why am I worrying about it? This practice is not about suppression, it's about redirection towards practical, actionable aspects of our lives. Fact 5. Stoic resilience. This isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about thriving through adversity by embracing it as a part of life's natural course. This Stoic principle is deeply rooted in the philosophy that every obstacle presents an opportunity to practice virtues such as courage, patience, and persistence. Consider the famous Stoic metaphor of the fire. Just as fire turns everything thrown into it into heat and light, Stoics aim to transform every difficulty into enlightenment and strength. This concept is vividly captured in the writings of Marcus Aurelius, who saw setbacks as fuel for his inner flame, urging himself and others to not just bear trials, but to welcome them as catalysts for becoming a better, stronger person. This type of resilience is proactive, not reactive. It involves seeing beyond the immediate discomfort and focusing on the long-term benefits of overcoming adversities. For Stoics, the key to resilience lies in the interpretation of events rather than the events themselves. By changing our perceptions, we can reframe challenges as lessons that are necessary for growth. This shift doesn't diminish the reality of pain or struggle, but gives it a constructive role in our lives. Moreover, Stoic resilience teaches us about the power of preparation. Seneca often discussed the importance of premeditating future hardships, not to dwell on fear, but to lessen the impact of those hardships when they occur. This mental rehearsal helps to reduce anxiety and paralysis when faced with actual difficulties. In practical terms, cultivating Stoic resilience means daily practices and reflections. It involves asking ourselves how we can use our current challenges to strengthen our character. It involves maintaining a calm and composed mind, even in the face of distress, which allows for clearer thinking and better decision-making. Fact 6. The role of hardship. In Stoicism, hardship is not just an inevitable part of life. It's seen as a necessary element for the development of virtue and character. The Stoics, particularly thinkers like Seneca and Epictetus, teach us that life's difficulties are not obstacles to our happiness, but are opportunities to practice virtues such as resilience, courage, and temperance. Seneca famously said that gold is tested by fire and human character by the furnace of humiliation, highlighting that true moral and emotional strength comes from our responses to adversity. Stoics believe that experiencing and overcoming difficulties is essential to craft a well-tempered soul. Hardship pushes us beyond our comfort zones and forces us to confront our limits and potential, which is crucial for any significant personal development. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to adopt a perspective that sees challenges as a form of philosophical training. Each hardship is a lesson in disguise, teaching us about impermanence, the limits of our control, and the importance of focusing on our internal responses. The Stoic practice of reflecting on and preparing for hardships helps us to not only anticipate and accept these challenges, but also to diminish the fear and anxiety they might otherwise engender. In practical terms, This means actively engaging with our difficulties, not with a mindset of resignation, but with one of active curiosity and the intent to learn. What can this challenge teach me? How can it help me grow? This approach transforms the role of hardship from that of a passive sufferer to an active learner, an agent in one's own life. To live stoically doesn't mean seeking out hardship, but recognizing its value when it arises. It's about maintaining a tranquil mind amidst turbulence and seeing beyond the immediate discomfort to the potential growth it can foster. Fact 7. True attractiveness. In Stoicism, true attractiveness goes far beyond mere physical appearance. It's profoundly rooted in virtue and the quality of one's character. The Stoics believed that the most attractive qualities a person can possess are wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, virtues that define one's actions and interactions with the world. Consider the perspective of Marcus Aurelius, who emphasized that beauty of the soul should be valued above that of the body. To the Stoics, someone who acts with integrity, treats others with respect, and maintains a calm demeanor in the face of adversity is far more appealing than someone who merely looks good. This concept challenges the conventional views of beauty and attractiveness, prompting us to look deeper into the qualities that truly endear others to us. Moreover, Stoicism teaches that true attractiveness is reflected through self-mastery, control over one's impulses, emotions, and decisions. A person who is master of themselves radiates a type of confidence and stability that is inherently attractive. This inner strength and tranquility draw others in, creating a presence that is both compelling and inspiring. This Stoic view on attractiveness also includes the ability to be at peace with oneself, accepting one's flaws while striving to improve. This acceptance is not resignation, but a proactive embrace of one's humanity. It's about polishing one's virtues and living in accordance with nature, which in itself possesses a unique allure. In our daily interactions, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate these inner qualities rather than focusing solely on external enhancements. It asks us to consider, what kind of presence do we bring into a room? Is it one of virtue, calm, and wisdom? The effort we put into developing our character is what ultimately makes us truly attractive. Fact 8. Influence of presence. The concept of presence is not just about physical attendance, but also about the quality of being that one brings into each moment. This quality of presence is a reflection of one's inner virtues and the mastery of one's passions and emotions. A Stoic cultivates a presence that is calm, composed, and mindful, radiating a sense of peace and stability that profoundly impacts others. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the power of presence through his own leadership and personal interactions. He believed that the way one carries oneself, the way one speaks and listens, should embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. His own presence was said to be a source of inspiration and moral guidance for those around him, demonstrating how a leader's demeanor can uplift and influence an entire community. The influence of presence is seen not just in grand gestures but in the subtleties of daily interactions. When you listen attentively to someone, giving them your full focus without distraction, you affirm their value and contribute to a more meaningful exchange. This kind of engagement fosters deeper connections, builds trust, and enhances communication. It's a powerful demonstration of respect and empathy, qualities deeply cherished in Stoic philosophy. Moreover, a Stoic presence involves being mindful of how one's external expressions, facial expressions, body language, and even tone of voice can affect others. By managing these expressions consciously, we can maintain harmony in our interactions and help keep conflicts at bay. This control and intentionality in one's demeanor are not about suppressing true feelings, but about choosing to express them in ways that are constructive and harmonious. In practicing Stoic presence, we also learn to embrace the present moment fully, engaging with our current environment and the people in it with a clear and open mind. This approach helps us not to be swept away by worries about the past or future, but to act with purpose and clarity in the now. Fact 9. Constant improvement. The Stoics believe that improvement is not an endpoint but an ongoing process. Epictetus famously said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This directive encapsulates the Stoic commitment to self-betterment through consistent action and reflection. This principle of constant improvement involves setting high personal standards and striving towards them, not out of vanity or pride, but as a means of cultivating virtue and excellence in one's character. It's about recognizing that as human beings, our potential for growth and learning is limitless, and our journey towards wisdom is lifelong. Moreover, Stoic philosophy teaches that we should embrace challenges as opportunities to test and refine our virtues. Whether we face setbacks in our personal lives, professional challenges, or internal struggles, each situation is a chance to practice resilience, patience, courage, and discipline. The Stoics use these experiences as a forge for the soul, where each trial can temper and strengthen one's character. In practice, this Stoic principle of constant improvement means embracing a mindset of adaptability and learning. It's about asking ourselves, after each day, what lessons we have learned, how we can apply these lessons tomorrow, and how we can be better. It's not merely about self-critique, but about self-evolution, understanding that every moment is an opportunity to practice virtue. Constant improvement also involves humility, the recognition that no matter how much we know, there is always more to learn. Marcus Aurelius continuously sought to learn from others, regardless of their social status or background, embodying the idea that every person we meet is a potential teacher. In the Stoic tradition, constant improvement is not about striving for perfection, but striving for progress. It's about cultivating a personal philosophy where growth is valued over comfort, where challenges are welcomed as essential elements of a meaningful life, and where each day is viewed as a new chapter in the ongoing narrative of self-development. Fact 10. The Stoic mindset. The Stoic mindset is rooted in accepting what we cannot change, focusing our energy on what we can, and pursuing wisdom to know the difference. This philosophy teaches that while we may not control external events, we can control our reactions to them, thereby maintaining our inner peace and equanimity. At the heart of the Stoic mindset is the pursuit of virtue, living in accordance with nature and reason. This means aligning our desires with reality, adjusting our perspective to see the world more clearly, and acting with virtue in all endeavors. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca saw this as the key to freedom from suffering caused by misplaced desires and irrational fears. Stoicism advocates for a life led by principles such as justice, courage, moderation, and wisdom. It's about making reasoned choices and understanding that true happiness does not depend on things like wealth, status, or even health, but on how we choose to respond to these aspects of life. By cultivating a detachment from external conditions while fostering a strong moral compass, Stoics strive to maintain their integrity and tranquility regardless of circumstances. Moreover, the Stoic mindset involves practicing mindfulness, being fully present and engaged in the current task, appreciating life as it unfolds, and acknowledging that everything is transient and every moment is precious. This awareness sharpens our appreciation of life and bolsters our resilience against adversity. Another critical aspect of the Stoic mindset is self-reflection. Regular examination of one's thoughts and actions is essential to ensure they align with Stoic virtues. This introspection helps one identify areas for improvement and reaffirms commitments to Stoic principles, promoting continual personal growth. Fact 11. Behavioral predictability. Stoicism teaches that human behaviors and emotions can be quite predictable when understood through the lens of nature and reason. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus emphasized that by observing human nature and understanding common reactions to pain, pleasure, loss, and gain, we can better anticipate how people might behave in various circumstances. This predictability isn't about pigeonholing or fatalistic determinism, but rather about recognizing patterns that arise from universal human responses. For Stoics, the predictability of behavior is closely tied to the concept of virtue and vice. They believed that by understanding our own tendencies and those of others, we can cultivate patience, forgiveness, and better manage our expectations. This insight encourages us to look beyond the surface of actions to the underlying motivations and emotions, fostering a deeper empathy and a more compassionate approach to interpersonal relationships. Furthermore, Stoicism advocates for self-awareness as a tool for predicting one's own behavioral patterns. By regularly examining our reactions and the reasons behind them, we gain insight into our habitual responses and can work on modifying them if they don't align with our principles. This practice of self-scrutiny and adjustment leads to greater consistency in our actions, making our behavior more predictable and stable, which in turn builds trust with others. Behavioral predictability also offers a strategic advantage in both personal and professional settings. Understanding how people typically respond to specific stimuli or situations allows us to anticipate challenges and opportunities, plan our actions more effectively, and react to others in a manner that is both informed and tactful. In the grander scheme, Stoicism teaches that embracing predictability is part of accepting the natural order of the world. It aligns with the Stoic acceptance of fate, where understanding the predictable nature of things, including human behavior, helps us to live more harmoniously within the bounds of what is controllable and uncontrollable. Fact 12. Emotional anchors. This concept refers to the idea that certain thoughts, objects, or experiences can trigger specific emotional states. These anchors serve as tools that can either stabilize or destabilize our minds, depending on how they are used. The Stoics teach us to cultivate awareness of these anchors and to use them deliberately to maintain equanimity and strengthen our resilience against external disturbances. For instance, a simple object like a photo of a loved one might evoke feelings of love and gratitude, which can serve as an anchor to bring us back to a state of calm and contentment in times of stress. Similarly, recalling a particularly challenging life event and how one overcame it can serve as a motivational anchor, reminding us of our strength and adaptability. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of understanding the power of our perceptions and the significance of the judgments we attach to our experiences. By consciously attaching positive and empowering meanings to certain memories or sensory experiences, we can create strong emotional anchors that bolster our mental state. For example, associating the calmness of a morning routine with a sense of preparedness for the day can anchor us in a state of calm and focus. Conversely, the Stoics also warn us about the dangers of negative emotional anchors, such as reminders of past grievances or failures that can lead to resentment or self-doubt. Marcus Aurelius advised reframing such negative anchors by viewing them as opportunities to practice virtues like forgiveness and courage, thus transforming them into positive forces. In our daily practices, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate emotional anchors that reinforce our commitment to living virtuously. This might involve creating rituals or habits that remind us of our philosophical beliefs and aspirations, such as meditative readings of Stoic texts or reflective journaling that centers on Stoic principles. Moreover, by becoming mindful of the triggers that lead to undesirable emotional states, we can begin to disarm or reconfigure these anchors. This practice not only enhances our emotional intelligence, but also aligns our reactions more closely with Stoic ideals, promoting a life of peace and purpose. Fact 13. Stoic techniques in everyday life. One of the most significant Stoic practices is the morning meditation of premeditation. This involves starting each day by contemplating potential challenges and reaffirming how to face them with Stoic virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. By visualizing how to handle difficult situations, we can prepare ourselves to react with composure and reason rather than with impulsive emotions. Throughout the day, mindfulness and self-awareness play crucial roles. The Stoics emphasize the importance of being present and conscious of our thoughts, actions, and reactions. By maintaining a moment-to-moment awareness, we can align our behaviors with Stoic principles, ensuring that our responses to others and to events are measured and considerate. Another practical Stoic technique involves the evening review, where the events of the day are reflected upon. This is a time to consider what went well and what could be improved. The Stoics saw this practice as essential for personal growth and learning, as it allows us to see clearly our successes in applying Stoic principles and the areas where we might have faltered. Moreover, the practice of voluntary discomfort, such as periodic fasting, cold showers, or abstaining from luxuries, teaches resilience and helps us appreciate what we have. It's a method to train ourselves to be less dependent on external comforts and more appreciative of simple blessings, reinforcing our ability to thrive regardless of circumstances. Stoics also advocate for engaging with community and service to others as a way to live out virtues like justice and kindness. By contributing to the welfare of others, we extend the scope of our practice beyond personal development to societal impact, which in turn enriches our sense of fulfillment and connectedness. By adopting these Stoic techniques, we transform philosophy into a daily practice that not only strengthens our character, but also enhances our engagement with the world. It's about making Stoicism not just something we study, but something we live moment by moment. This approach doesn't just help us handle life's challenges more effectively, it enriches our entire experience of life, making it more meaningful and rewarding. As we close today's journey into the wisdom of Stoicism, remember that every challenge you face is not just a test, but a teacher. If today's insights resonated with you, don't forget to check out one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue exploring how Stoicism can transform your approach to life. Thank you for spending your time with us at Stoic Journal. Your presence and engagement make this community a beacon of thoughtfulness and growth. Remember, in the grand narrative of life, you are crafting your own story with every choice you make. Make it profound.